supports all initiatives pertaining to diversity, equity, and inclusion. She is also contributing in learning and development for leadership programs, design and delivery, and mentoring programs. She's certified in Belbin team roles. She's a DISC profiler, and she's conducted more than 50 workshops. She's been a behavioral trainer for courses like Building an Inclusive Workplace, mentoring workshops, building effective teams, career planning, and a whole lot more. In her earlier organizations, uh, she's been very crucial in holding these learning and development programs. Her aspiration and higher purpose is to do meaningful roles which can make a positive difference in people's lives. We're so proud to have you with us today. Sarika, over to you.
Hi, Ujjwala. Good morning to you and good morning to everybody. And thank you for your kind words and the kind introduction. Okay, so I would just like to add here in my introduction, and we will just do a little mindfulness exercise, which is my favorite, and I do before every program, right? So let's do that first, and then I'll just give a little bit more about me. I always believe that the person who has done it can talk and justify the introduction, right? So thank you, Ujwala, for that. And so let's do this mindfulness exercise. It's pretty simple. Okay, so what you have to do, you have to close your eyes, take deep breaths, hold for 3 4 seconds, and then exhale from your mouth. Do that 4 5 times, and then rub your palms, put it on your eyes, and take a sip of water. I know you people must have done it. I mean, there are so many things going on, and everybody knows these techniques, but this is so simple and it can be a lifesaver. So, I am doing it. You can do it at your own pace. And I would request everyone to, if you can switch on the camera, that will be fine. But I don't want to impose on that. Yeah, be comfortable. So, I'm just doing this exercise. It will hardly take 30 40 seconds, but it's really, really effective. Okay. So let's begin. Okay, I did it and I'm taking a sip of my green tea. You can take water. This is actually a lifesaver. Believe me, in COVID, we used to do it before every meeting, and it oxygenates your lungs basically, right? So we are into this session, and I'm sure this crowd, this audience, is encompassing all those women who have returned from maternity or are on maternity, or they have been on career break, or maybe they're planning to go on maternity. So from this session today, everybody can derive few bits of it. And I would say that maybe in the Q&A, you can ask me certain questions and we can do some sort of group mentoring. So a little more about me. So I would say that, of course, CKB, Ujjwala told. And before that, I was with John Deere. I think those 5 years made my life. Believe me, I owe a lot to John Deere, right? And because I was feeling that I was being paid for my own development, right? So I will take you through a few slides because visuals help to channelize a discussion, right? And I will weave my story into it, correct? So that you can understand it better, right? And Ujjwala, feel free, if at all you want to nudge in and you want to add something to it, please feel free to do it. So give me a moment to share my screen. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
You can see my screen.
Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah, now we can.
Let me put it full screen, but I want this window also to open. I can see a parallel window here, but anyway, let it be. You can see me and you can see the screen, correct?
Yes, we can see both.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know. I think you all must have heard about imposter syndrome, right? Um, and I will, before defining it, let me ask you. And I am not asking everybody to unmute yourself at this point of time, but maybe you can just reflect upon it. Looking at this picture, right? Look at this picture. This girl is actually has won something, but at the other end, she is not feeling so confident about herself, right? So this is actually a story of every woman. Let me tell you, if somebody says no, 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 I have never felt an imposter syndrome, I may not agree, because the statistics doesn't say so, right? And I would say that imposter syndrome is not only applicable to women, it is for everybody, right? Everybody goes through this one in one form or the other. But yes, statistics say that it is more found in women, right? So what is imposter syndrome? As you can see here, this girl is feeling less about herself. There is a constant inner voice, which is actually telling you that maybe you are not good enough, you're not worthy, you must be perfect, right? And I must not have made this mistake, right? And nobody loves me, blah blah blah, right? So these things happen to everybody, correct? So maybe you are on a maternity or career break is one thing. Otherwise also, the people who are successful, right, they are going through this a lot. And I will give you my story also later on. But if you really have to define it, imposter syndrome can be characterized as a feeling like a fraud, like fraud in the sense, this is a big term, but that you have not achieved, correct? That you have really not achieved it. Richa, can you hear me clearly, or shall I enhance the voice, because I can't see the parallel screen?
No, Sarika, you are just fine.
Sure, sure. Because I can see just the screen. Okay. So, this self doubt is cropping in, that I'm not good enough, etc. And this happens to everybody, and there's nothing wrong about it, right? This is not a disease, but if it starts sabotaging your things, correct, then it is a problem. Then of course you should do something about it, correct? So let me give you this example, this cycle I really like, so I just put it here, that maybe you did a new project, okay? So a lot of anxiety was there. Either you were procrastinating, you were into some kind of anxiety, or you were over preparing, right? And you want it to be perfect, correct? And then when the project is completed, you just have a little sense of accomplishment, you are not giving yourself credit, right? And you just say, and if somebody gives accolades to you, you just say that maybe I went lucky, or maybe it was from fluke. And many women, and I get very, honestly, I don't feel comfortable when I hear women talking that, oh, you know what, the success, for my success I owe to my father or my husband or my brother. Why can't you owe your success to yourself? So I just had this cup made in the last organization, and I wrote, I don't know if you can see the screen. I wrote on this cup that behind every successful woman is herself. So few people, they called me feminist, etc. when I wrote this. But then I said that you need to owe for your credit. Don't say, I'm not saying that there is something bad in creating a support system. You should certainly have a support system, but your success is your story, right? In my mother, she's a very learned woman. Initially she was a teacher, but she couldn't do a job. And though my dad is a big scientist, and but then that time, I don't know, we were three siblings. Today, of course, I don't have my brother, so he died in COVID, so my parents are with me. But then he didn't I feel very sad when my mother says, your father did not allow. Nobody should be there to allow. I have a huge respect for my father, but then nobody should be there to allow or not allow, right? It is your call. And if you are capable enough, then you should certainly capitalize. You should not think less about yourself, right? So this is it. When this is the very typical syndrome cycle that one and try to relate it to yourself and reflect upon it, that if somebody is actually giving accolades, are you feeling confident about it? Are you taking that wholeheartedly, right? Or you are just thinking ki, no, 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 I mean, it is just by fluke, it has happened to me. So you are not alone, actually. So if you see this interesting statistics here, that 70% of successful people reported experiencing imposter feeling. 75% of women said so. 80% of CEOs feel so, right? And 84% of entrepreneurs feel so. And at the right hand side is typically the data pertaining women, which is very interesting to know that. And it's an eye opener that 81% of women believe that they put more pressure on themselves not to fail than men do. Can you believe it? We want to be so perfect so that nobody can question. And because I am leading DEI, so we were just analyzing the recruitment, and there is a pillar of affirmative hiring wherein we give chance to women more. And we have this target in our DEI to enhance the gender diversity. So we were saying, that women actually, they think less of themselves until the time there is a position open. Till the time they are like 80 to 90% ready, they will not apply for that IJP or any position. While men, they, even if they're 40% ready, they do it. So this is not a stereotype, but the statistics say so, correct? That is why we have a very good program in our company wherein we teach this to our high potential women, that you need to come out of this. You need to be vocal about your achievements. You need to get into strategic networking. You need to be vocal if something goes wrong, if it is not fair, if it is not equitable, speak for it, right? And there is one cultural tenet in our organization which is called being bold. So it is very much in concurrence to acting courageously, right? So acting courageously is is one competency which women should talk about. See, there is a very thin line difference between being assertive and being aggressive, correct? So try to be assertive. I'm not saying become aggressive and be a feminist or something like that. No, we are not saying that, right? We don't want to put dumbbells or box people, etc. We are saying to be fair in the things which our minds can do, because minds are equal. At the same time, NLP says that in women, right brain is more activated, right? So we are more emotional, and there is nothing to be feeling bad about it. Being emotional makes you sensitive to people. And today, if you ask me, and especially after COVID, we are talking about compassionate leadership. We are talking about empathetic leadership. So utilize your emotions in a wise way. Believe me, women who are at leadership positions, they are better transformational leaders, right? Why? Because their right brain is more activated. They think about people. And there is no need for me to tell you that in a board wherein the women are there, the ROI of that company increases, correct? There is a better innovation everywhere. It is proven, correct? Now look at this. The 47% reported experiencing imposter syndrome because they never expected to reach the level of success that they have achieved. So even if they achieve, they are not very confident about it, right? 56% of executives believe that those around them will not believe they are capable, right? They are questioning their own capability, correct? And once they get into the leadership role, they are not able to think that yes, this is my thing, right? And 77% of the women in the survey said that they have it when they expected from their career is different from the reality, right? So this is interesting, and maybe Richa will share all these things with you. So I really like this piece of work here, that how do you, and now you understand that it is there, correct? Everybody, if you ask me, yes, it is in me as well. I'm also struggling in many aspects, and I never had a very easy job to play, honestly. Lot of conflicts, lot of, whenever a woman, and this is my personal story, that whenever a woman, is extra assertive, sometimes it is not being liked. So in one of the organizations, I would not name it, and I want to call this term called mentorrupting. Okay, so mentorrupting means that a woman is being interrupted in a forum more than men, right? So I was the only CXO in that company, and what happened was that whenever I used to say something, I was I am my tone is very assertive, as you can see, right? So people used to stop me, and while at the same time, if a man was saying, so I had to struggle. But then, you know what, at the end of it, I was being given this compliment that, Sarika, you didn't change, and we value that, and we respect your purity. So stay authentic and don't change yourself. Whatever is your strength, polish it so that it shines, even in our IDPs, when we are and for you people, let me tell you, be near to your skill, be the part of your game. Learning agility is very, very important. Keep on learning. Today there is a lot of mentorship flowing everywhere, be it books, be it podcast videos, or speakers like us. Try to grab that and implement it. Nowadays, more than books, I used to actually read a lot of books, but because of my eyes, now I'm listening, right? And one thing is good with me, that whatever I imbibe, I apply it. So wisdom is applying it. Second piece of wisdom is that try to learn from others. If somebody has failed, right, everybody has got a different journey, but try to have different mentors in life, be it professional, be it personal. So first step, and we will come back to what I was saying, but first step is that yes, I know, I accept, this is what is going inside me. I will actually take care of it. And believe me, 90 there are about 80,000 thoughts which come to your mind in a day, right? And out of that, 90% are negative. Okay, so you need to feed in the positive thoughts and develop a growth mindset, correct? So recognize it and say that yes, I will replace it. Have a positive self talk with yourself first, become self reliant, and then talk to others, correct? You should have that courage to celebrate your small achievements also. Don't give, when if you are doing a career planning exercise for yourself, don't give unrealistic goals to yourself, right? Write write it. Okay, write it somewhere. I have seen in my NLP classes, we used to write a vision board, and whatever I wrote, I have achieved it, correct? So that is a power of writing. And believe me, you can actually be a very good counselor to yourself. I take classes of communication as well, and in that I say that nobody can give you a solution. You are the best judge for yourself. You know what is good for you. The other person can only give you a listening ear, right? Seek support, but seek wise support. Be with positive people. As they say, that you become an average of 5 people you meet up, correct? And learn to accept imperfections. Imperfections are beautiful, actually, right? So don't try to be perfect all the time. And I wanted to give you a theory of Belbin, but then the time will not allow me. But there it is being said that there are few people who incur a lot of time in being so perfect that they miss on timelines, which is not a wise thing to do, right? So there should be a balance. So in a team, if there is somebody who is taking care of standards so high, but there has to be somebody to stop that person, that you know what, I have to really see that within the time frame we have to do it, right? So self reflection is very important. if you think that you are not able to manage it, please seek professional help. It really helps, whether it be a counselor or a psychologist or anyone. And few things from this piece also you can take up, that don't compare yourself to others. So comparison is a cancerous behavior. You just see that on a scale of 1 to 10, 2 years back you were at 2 and now you are at 7. That means you have done a considerable growth. Correct? Learning agility, I will again repeat, capability building is the key. The right now in the stage of the career where you are, this is the key. And one more thing I want to say, that I'll give you my example, that when I was joining, I have a 15 years old daughter. Her name is Angelina, and she is I don't teach her maths, science, physics, right? I teach her life skills. For other things, I have outsourced everything, right? Few women, they get into this thing that I should be teaching my daughter or son. But believe me, if you are able to give that independence, I tell my daughter two things: become financially independent and become emotionally independent. Don't be so much dependent on others as well, right? Even emotional dependence is not good. So staying detached doesn't mean that you are selfish. If you are detached, you are able to take care of your expectations in a wise way, and you are able to make good relationships, right? So compare only with yourself. And everyone makes mistakes, and I always say to even the mentors that share your failure stories, right? Share your failure stories. Why? Because failure stories can teach you better than success stories sometimes, right? So some failure is inevitable, right? So you just reflect, fail, no problem, fail, but then learn from it. Correct? Learn from it, that the wisdom that failure has given you can really change your life. Remember one thing: don't rely too much on your mind. Thoughts are not facts. Whatever negative thing is coming in your mind, reframe your thoughts, question it again and again. Why is it coming? What can you do about it, right? And I always say, now I don't call it a weakness at all. I always ask women and others to prepare a SOAR chart. So, SOAR chart means your strengths, aspirations, opportunities, and results. Okay, so what are your strengths? What are your aspirations? You can make it for yourself when you go from here. And what are the results you want to achieve in life? So it's nothing going to talk about your preliminary thing of SWOT analysis, which is also okay, but I don't like to call it a weakness. I always say that strengths, you just say that I have got these three strengths, I need to polish them so that they shine. There are few things which due to your role maybe you want to just pick up, but you can't do much about it. So focus on your strengths, right? And your self awareness will be a key. Be very very compassionate to yourself. Be very very kind to yourself. Okay, you have done nothing wrong. And if I give you my example, when my daughter was born, right, that time my husband was undergoing the operation of cancer, third stage cancer, parallelly, right? You will not believe, that time it was a 3 months maternity leave, and I joined in the fourth month. I locked my daughter and the caretaker in one room, because that time even the daycares were not that good, right? I had no support. But today my daughter is very independent. And then I told, few people really tried to put me in that trap, that Sarika, you should take a break, you should take care of your husband, you should take care of daughter. I have taken care, right? But at the same time, I do understand that at this stage you have to take care of family, you have to take care of yourself, and this is the time when you're making a career for yourself. If you will leave it, right, the momentum, you need to regain that momentum back. So my advice is, take a break, but let it not be a full stop, let it be a comma, and let it be for a while. Correct? So I think that helped me a lot. It was just not money. Many people, they come back to work because of money. 52% people said that we come back to work for money. No, Money is an outcome. You should come back to work for your independence. Believe me, today I can candidly say that more than men, women needs an independent career. Believe me. So don't give yourself a chance. Don't get succumb to societal pressures, environmental pressures, and seek support, good friends and others. And if you talk of motherhood imposter syndrome, look at this lady. There's a lot of multitasking she's doing, right? But I am not saying multitasking is very good, but women can do a lot of multitasking. And once you become a mother, you actually learn that, oh, I have got so many strengths. You discover your strengths in that phase. So it's a blissful time. So reset your priorities, of course, according to that. But practice mindfulness. So mindfulness, in the beginning, what exercise I did, staying in the present moment, and just let it flow, let it go with the flow. Be organic in your approach. Don't be so critical of yourself, and invest in your personal growth. So we in Birlasoft, we have a very nicely designed maternity returnship program, wherein we say that when you are going on leave, right? So this is what we say: when you are going on leave, stay connected, don't lose momentum, right? So a woman who is actually going, we ask her to plan well and communicate with the manager and others, and have those mentors who can actually help you while you are becoming a parent. Join those support groups, right? And ask for a buddy from your company. So in our company, yes, we give a buddy to a woman who is going on maternity. And during the break, just don't lose connect, right? Just keep on reading what is happening in the company. What are the visions, what is the Q1 EBITDA, what is the revenue. Stay in touch, right? Understand your benefits, that once you come back, right, what could be the assistance you can get. What is the child care policy? We have a flexibility policy for our women, right? And few real time tips I can give you is to follow some routine. Don't forget your rhythm of being in a routine, and stay connected to your skills. So nowadays, you have so many things to learn, right? And support groups, join them, of working parents, but those who are positive, right? So I happen to meet one of my known person, and she said, you know what, Sarika, I just took a break, I didn't work, and today I'm proud that I have raised my son and a daughter in a good way. I'm proud about that. I said, good for you. However, then she started crying, right? So I said, what happened? I never wanted to demean her. So I said, okay, what happened? So she said, you know what? Now she doesn't give me time. And that is the reality. If I have to meet my daughter, I have to take her to Starbucks to get some time with her. So remember, your time, your career is very, very important. In John Deere, when I was there, we used to even talk to the spouses that, please support your wife to come back to work. It is very, very important. Don't get into erratic pressures of people. It's not going to help you, right? And once you return, it's a magic, right? You may feel these challenges, right? You may feel, oh, my work life balance is hampered and I am being discriminated because I've just come back and people have gone out with the rhythm, but I lost my rhythm, right? So there's a sometimes the manager is not supporting because there are some high end projects wherein he feels that you will take some time. If you ask me, here we do a lot of unconscious bias training for our managers, and we ask our managers to not assume that when a woman comes back, she is not going to give her 100%, right? So don't just break those assumptions. So a few managers, they think, oh, a woman is coming, maybe she needs support, she needs some comfort, so she won't be able to give time. But that's not the reality. Believe me, when I joined, after so much happening in my family, when I rejoined, I had double the zeal to contribute. And this is my favorite statement. I say everywhere that don't give flowers to a person who is allergic to it, right? So please ask that person first. that whether she wants to have that comfort. If she's okay to travel and if she's okay to take up new projects, why not? You need to be vocal and tell that this is what I want. I have double the zeal to contribute. So don't assume, right? You should have that courage to say. And sometimes, of course, you feel that, oh, you missed one promotion while you were away, etc. That's okay. That's okay. You can still make it more, but try to take mentorship from people, have few mentors. That is why in our organization we have propagated a lot of mentoring for women, right? We have a program called Each One Teach One, wherein each woman is we have an aim to give each woman a mentor, right? So sometimes you feel isolated, sometimes you just join for money. That is, I would say that's a very important aspect, I know. But still have dreams which are bigger, you know, have dreams which are bigger, which are aligned to your purpose. If you ask me, I believe in servant leadership and heart leadership, and I do for the sake of my purpose. I do things for the sake of my purpose. I was the CHRO earlier, I was handling the entire gamut of HR. But today, when I am taking care of DEI, I think that gives me more energy because I'm doing something. We are going to hire few blinds in our system. I mean, that gives me so much of energy that I'm making some meaningful difference to other people's life, right? So there, of course, is an emotional strain. You have to balance so much. In this, one thing can be very instrumental is your health and well-being. Please take care of yourself and follow some hobbies. Get out of that mom guilt, okay? Children, they are raised properly, and in fact, if you are going to pamper them more, give so much of time. I'm telling you, I have seen children getting pampered and they don't make anything out of it, right? Have time for yourself. Me, my husband, that time, of course, outsourced most of the things. And don't rely on everybody. Even the people in your family, they change. Remember that. Rely, there is only one person who is going to stay with you all your life, which is you. So value that person. Don't, it's not selfishness, just value that person, right? And talk to those people who can make some difference, right? I have like five mentors who are, three of them are men, two of them are women. So I get a different perspective from all angles, right? I get a different perspective from all angles, from all people. And if I had mentorship earlier, I think maybe it could have been great. But today you are lucky that mentorship is a talk of every great organization, right? So, and then create meaningful family activities and build that support system. As I said, practice mindfulness and create some me time. It can be anything, correct? One exercise I really want to, before we get into a Q&A, I want you all to do is just think about your inner critic. Okay, there could be many critics, like you can see here in this picture, that the perfectionist inside you says, oh, no, no, you have not done it right, you could have done it better. The inner controller says, oh, your willpower is not that great, you have again faltered. The taskmaster is saying, oh, no, 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 you cannot take a break, you just keep on working and on the timelines, and maybe you are not even taking a tea break and you are just working, working, working. That break I'm talking about. You are undermining your achievements, as I talked about. The destroyer, there is a negative voice in the head, no, you are not good. That destroys you, right? And the guilt tripper we talked about. You don't need to get into guilt, right? I am actually a fair person. I'm even saying that if a man wants a break for 5 months, why not? That man can also take a break of 5 months. Why do we have stereotypes there, right? And don't conform with people, that these people are doing this, so I will also do this. No, don't conform to the herd mentality. Have your uniqueness. Believe me, I have a very different thought process. I never go with the herd. I never go with the herd, and that is my power. I cannot, I'm not undermining anyone, I'm not defying what other people do, but I have my authenticity, I have my uniqueness, and I'm proud of that, right? So just think about that one thing. What is your inner critic? Okay, what is that inner voice which is actually criticizing you? identify that, question it again and again, and play that dance of insight. Just question it again and again, have some evidences around it. Now, you cannot eradicate it. Believe me, you cannot eradicate that one limiting belief. However, you can replace it with a more positive affirmative thought. Once you have replaced it in a very constructive manner, believe me, this one which was your inner block, that will be dropped. It will become smaller, smaller, smaller day by day. One day it will become a dot and it will disappear. That is the power of creating something parallel. So some people say, oh, you know what, I don't want to think this thing, or I want to stay away from this thing. You can't do that. You can just replace it. You cannot eradicate that thought. Yeah. So I think this is what I wanted to share with you. And now we can actually take up questions. Over to you, Ujwala.
Thank you, Sarika. I think I was making notes.
Yeah.
I have been like just listening to you intently, and I have made so many notes because whatever you have said hit home at every point, because every one of us has gone through this self doubt at some point or the other. But to acknowledge it and to work on it is just something that we have to do. We are responsible for what we go through, and I'm sure all of them here also resonated with everything that you've said, because there are already a couple of questions in the chat. I'm just going to read out. Um, okay, so Radhika says, I have a career gap of 1.5 years because of health and family issues. Now I want to restart, but I'm not getting calls from, I think she means interview calls or job, requirement calls. I have worked on multiple technologies. I have also upgraded my skills, but I still don't get interview calls. So sometimes this feeling that I have lost my career and time is just overwhelming. And what should I do?
Hmm. So this is coming from who? I was just going through the
Radhika.
chat. Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry.
this is from Radhika.
Radhika. So,
Yeah.
Radhika, I don't know how many years break you had, but let me tell you, keep on learning, enhance your capability. See, we also have got women returnship program, but then what we say to women, right? We tell these women that don't come with a clean slate. If at all you are being hired for something, and if it's a window of 3 months, try to upgrade your skills, right? So keep on upgrading your skills. First of all, don't lose hope. Many organizations are working on women returnship program. In fact, we have a tie up with Arki to have this for us. For each BU, we have given targets that you should have at least two women, who are women returnees, etc. After 3-4 years of break. So I would see this is just a probability. Remember that this is a probability game. You are saying that I'm not getting interview calls, but let me tell you, just keep on applying. Don't lose hope. I think her key platform is very good, and I really appreciate this platform. They're really helping so many women, right? And keep on posting your CVs. You will get a call. You don't have to lose hope. uh, at the same time, women who have not taken who are planning to take a longer break, my advice is don't take a longer break, please, because that is the, I will not lie to you, you miss one of the great career progressions, right? So try to balance whatever bucket needs more water. If at home, yes, at home. If at office, if at home, at office, you can give that time, but then don't lose it. It should be just a small comma. It should not be a full stop. The women who take like 5 years of gap, it becomes difficult. I will not say that it is easy. That is why we keep on talking, and that is why I talk to my women returnees from maternity that please don't take a big break. It's not going to help you. So 1.7 years you are saying, which is okay, but you will get calls. They don't lose hope. There are many organizations like us who are working on women returnship program.
Yeah, I think you answered Nandita's question, because she says Nandita says, I also want to restart my career, but I've taken a 5 year break. Now my child is 3.5 years. I want to come back, but yeah, again, same problem of not getting calls. Um, I'm also ready to join an internship program, but there's still a little bit of self-doubt about why she's not getting these calls. So I think you answered that. Nandita, I hope you were listening. This is some really great advice. So I think just keep applying. I just want to add one point where you mentioned perfection, right? Women tend to be perfect, like we want to have everything ready. So I have seen that even if I have 80% of the skills that are required for the job, I feel afraid to apply because I feel like I should have all of the skills, right? So that also holds us back somehow. But yeah, thank you for answering, Nandita. And the next one I have is Pratiksha, who says, I have an experience of 1.6 years in IT, and then 1.7 years of career break. So she was rejected because of this break, and she has been freelancing during this 1.7 years of break that she has had. But still, it's a challenge because she's been freelancing. She's not able to get any, proper interview calls for a full-time job. It's affecting my mental health, and sleep schedule is also disturbed. So, any advice? Because this is, I think, a very common outcome of all the stress that we go through. So, anything that you would like to advise?
See, I am, first of all, let me tell you, I am a very spiritual person. I follow spirituality like anything, and spirituality has nothing to do with religion, by the way. It just says that don't give so much importance to anything in life, right? Okay, so we are just hot air balloons and will blow away. So try to, and I am a person who loves disaster management, honestly. And because I say this, that is why so many problems come to me and I then manage it, right? I lost my brother in COVID, and I am taking care of his family. He has got a special child, right? One of the child is special child. Two kids he was 38 years old, right? And then I'm taking care of my parents. So I have broken that glass ceiling in my personal life also. What I would say is that focus on yourself. If you are not getting it, it's okay. Don't become so hassled by it. Till the time you are meaningfully occupied in something, whatever it may be, utilize this time in coaching, utilize this time in getting on forums, and they are not so expensive also. Let me tell you, if you go back to some company and you will say that, I attended these webinars, I did this certification, or I did this program, or I had this higher education program, people will value. Organizations like us, we will value. But I always question this. As I said in the beginning, don't take a long break. It will not help you. I have my friend. See, I cannot tell you lies. I will be very candid. I have a friend. She had three miscarriages. Of course, she had this genuine reason. And then, in fact, I had told her, why don't you even adopt a child? Why are you wasting your life like this, right? Now, when she joined, believe me, she had to start from two layers below. Correct. Can't help because you, that most of the time you just, that is why the people who are planning to take a big leave, my appeal is don't take it. Take a small leave, don't take a very big leave, right? um, it becomes really really hard to get into the momentum. However, I would say that it is not like few of you are saying that I took a 9 years break, etc. It becomes too long. But then yes, if you are into constructive something, become a freelancer or consultant, or you are working in some way or the other, it is okay. And keep on trying it. I don't think I can give you a ready made answer for this, but you have to be in your game. You have to keep on enhancing your skills and keep on trying. Let me tell you, if you are sincerely trying it, you will get it. It's just a matter of time, but stay occupied. And why I touched on spirituality and mindfulness, don't get depressed. Nothing in this world is so serious which can make you depressed, right? You are having good food, you are having good life, you are having eyes, you have, like, I was interviewing these blind people yesterday, and I wrote somewhere in my diary gratitude, right? Gratitude that I am having all those things. I can actually make use of it, and we keep on crying. And normally, women sometimes they get into victim stories. In John Deere, I used to bash them. I said one thing very clear: never feel pity on yourself. अपने ऊपर दया नहीं करनी है. Never. We are better off. We are better off. We are role models for others. Correct? So please understand this. Don't get into this depression. I'm not saying that I am a perfect person and I don't go through the different shades of life. A lot of it is happening in my family. After my parents came in, I disturbed my family. A lot of things happened with me as well, right? But I thought, yeah, whatever is happening is happening. I am happy being liberated. Correct? I'm finding my happiness in my liberation. So don't get depressed, and you can get in touch with me on LinkedIn also. If at all you need some personal advice, I will talk about it.
Fantastic. There are so many wonderful points that you're touching upon. I think even those who have asked questions, you've already answered them even before I've posed it to you. I think most of them here, although we won't be able to read each one. Tanushri also says, first of all, Sarika, you're very motivating. We're glad to hear that because we need someone who lifts us up, right? By telling us also the other side of the coin and not just saying that you're good, you can do this, but to turn that pain into power that we can use for ourselves is so important. So thank you, Tanushri, for that question. I think most of them have similar questions of, taking a career break and unable to get back because of self-doubt, which is what this entire session has been about. So I'm hoping they've taken back some important points. There are a couple of questions, though, from Divya. Divya and I think Divya and Kalpana, who says, we'd like to get more details about the Birlasoft returnship program, if there is any, and how they can apply.
See, returnship program is certainly there. We are working on it, but I would not say that we have high number of openings. I'll be very candid here. I just don't want to sound good everywhere. I will be in a very realistic zone, right? So we will be offering to few women, but at the same time, we will look at reskilling them, or we will see that what they have. That is why I've been saying, keep on reskilling at your own pace. Even if you have to pay money from your pocket, please do it. Get yourself reskilled. Don't waste time. Birlasoft returnship program is open for few women, and we have given this tie up. We have given this assignment to Arki as well, that for few positions wherein for few skills or roles, I mean, our business heads have identified those roles, and we will be receiving the resumes for that. So I would not say we are going to like hire 50 or 60 or 100 women like this, because ultimately business has to be seen. For every company, EBITDA, PNL is very, very important, right? Revenue is very, very important. So parallelly, we have to see how we can make that difference. Yes, certainly it is there, and we are working on it. You can just post your CVs to me on LinkedIn. I can just forward to TSC if there is a suitability in terms of your skills earlier, or whatever you have read in between, or we can reskill you. We will certainly see.
Thank
Qualification
you.
of
Thank you.
internship program, no. So we have not given any eligibility that it has to be like 3 years or 4 years, and we will just evaluate people. Skills, there are so many. I won't be able to tell you what skills, but of course, this is an IT company. So you can Google it and you will get a lot of information on Birlasoft careers, wherein you can see that what kind of skills we are looking at.
Great. Thank you so much. I think we have time for two more questions. One of them is very interesting, but I think we can look at it from a wider angle. Julie says, what if it's a career break due to a personal issue? I have been in a bad marriage and I have a gap of around 4 years. Now that we are separated, I have started looking and applying for jobs again, but I'm not sure how to justify these career gaps. I think this is a common problem that women face, regardless of the reason they've taken this break. How do you highlight this career gap in your resume, and how do you talk about it to the interviewer or whoever you're faced with?
I'll give you a very honest advice on this. I have, and people know me, few of them know me here, that I speak without filters and I am very authentic. And don't shoo away from being authentic. Say your real story. You know, good people are always there. Good people are always there and they understand. You don't need to cook. You don't need to cook, okay, this happened or that happened. You can say it very openly. People really, really appreciate it. Okay. If you are being vocal about it, and even if it is 4 years, don't feel guilty about it. It's okay. And if you have come out of your marriage, it must be for your good. Don't worry about it. Okay. Don't feel guilty about that stuff also. In fact, there are women in my community, and there is a girl who got remarried. Her second marriage failed. She got third time remarried, and third marriage also failed. So I told her, she's at a very good position. I said, why did you marry again? You are so talented. I mean, what happened? So she said, no, 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 no. Why? I was comparing to my father, used to be very good. So I said, your father actually didn't want that you should get a person like him again. He wanted that you should become like him, successful. Correct. So you don't have to feel guilty about anything. Say it openly. There are people like me who want to hear the truth, and believe me, I have paid my price for being very truthful, but it has been very satisfying to me all through. I have no guilt. I don't revisit my decisions, and I'm not aggressive, but I'm very assertive about what I say because I know my rationale is correct. So don't even feel that how do I justify this question is irrelevant. 4 years, okay, you actually could have reduced it, but now don't feel guilty about that also. Try, try, try. You will get it. Not here, somewhere else you will get it. And thankfully, you are in a time, and in India, there is a lot happening on DEI space. Believe me, people are looking for good women to hire them. If not Birlasoft, you can go other places as well, like Accenture, Synchrony, Capgemini, Birlasoft, of course, but then we have a limited window of it. But you go and try. Don't say that how do I justify. No, 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 no need to justify anyone. This okay, you took a decision, fine, no problem. That is why I'm again and again appealing those who are thinking of taking a long break. I think this could be the biggest takeaway from the session. Don't take it. I am telling you in a candid way, don't take it. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. That really makes sense. I think Vidya here says, thank you for this session. I was feeling a little low in the morning, but this session has lifted me up, which is so great to hear. And last, I think one or the one that Reshma has to ask is similar to what you've just told us. But her dilemma is, I'm thinking about whether I should go into family planning or should I think about my career, because she says, I was outside India and I have recently moved back, but the market is not so great. Should I go ahead and look for career options or should I go into family planning? This is something I think it's very personal, though.
This is something personal, but what I told you in the very beginning, that this is the age and this is the time when women get into marriage, women have to start a family, but they should not leave the career. You can do both the things parallelly. If you are, you try to go and find a job for yourself. Don't let this family planning thing stop you. And then if it comes, and if you are doing it, and you happen to find that yes, you have to become a mother, fine, take a maternity leave, just take it for whatever number stipulated is there and join back, right? Today we don't keep our maternity people on bench at all. We have a strict policy. They come on the unit, right? They are on the unit in the billing cycle. They are never kept on bench. We have this policy, right? So there are good people, good companies, right? And don't let this family planning confuse you, dear. I will be very candid. Don't take it both hands. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. This, either this or this. No, it's not a choice. You can do it together. Certainly. If not with perfection, 80% chalega. 80% bhi chalega. Don't be a people pleaser. I actually left it long time ago. People get pissed off with me, but it's okay. My life, my rules.
Perfect. Perfect. I wish we could end the session on this very high note, but there's one last question that she's been pinging me separately as well. So Leela says, I'm working as a freelancer. She has a total of 12 years of experience, including 3 years as freelancer. Um, she is experienced in C++ and Python, but now she wants to get into data science. Will that be a good thing going into a different type of technology while she's freelancing and looking for another job?
See, this is a personal call and a personal anchor. Let me tell you, you should do what you are passionate with. Today, you are feeling to see me that I have got a lot of passion because I believe and breathe this, right? I am not just preaching you, right? I'm also into L&D. I take few sessions. I talk only about those things which I've lived, right? So whatever is your anchor, if you think the earlier skill is not going to make you happy in a long run, right? People change careers. However, you have to really see one thing I have witnessed, that if you keep if you have one track and you consistently with dedication and sincerity just pick on that track, I think that helps. This I have seen. However, you are having examples wherein people have changed their careers and they are flourishing. You have both the examples, but what works for you, the gut feeling has to say this for you, right? And then one day when you decide, no, 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 this is not working for me, this my father had advised me, now let me take up a different career, then you have to skill yourself. Nowadays it is not that it will not happen in a filmy way. You have to make an action plan, right? You have to make a strategy, then break into actions, have some results, then go with it. The person who will interview you will see. If you ask me, I always used to say one thing to my people whenever I hire: attitude really matters for me. If you have got a learning agility, I think more than functional skills, that is good. I will teach you functional skills, but I need good attitude. I have even rejected people from IIMs because they were not having a good attitude. And in fact, I told one IIM teacher, please tell them that they are not out of the world. So, nothing against IIM people. I've given 2 lectures there. They're very good. But humility, humbleness, ready to take up, that fighting spirit has to be there. You are in the lucky time when there is so much happening for women. Don't take undue advantage of that because few women have taken. But you have so much to do. You can get so much to do. Believe me. Just have that spirit on. And two things: financially independent and emotionally independent. Very, very important. Don't try to look for many shoulders, because if you have shoulders to cry, you have to pay the price for it also. Become self-reliant. Rather, that's better.
Fantastic. Fantastic. We have so many messages on the chat here saying thanks for a great session. Thank you to all of the participants for having been so engaging with the session and with Sarika. I think your inputs are what make the session more engaging. So Anything else that you want to end the session with, Harika, before we say bye to everybody?
I think I have said most of the things, Ujwala. I am just wanting to close on this one note that keep your spirits high and don't revisit your decisions. What has happened has happened. How can you rebuild again? That is the success parameter, right? As you have to compare it with your own self, you don't have to compare it with others, right? And don't get into the advice of those people who are demotivating you all the time. Get away from toxic relationships, from toxic people, because sometimes the societal pressures become too high on you that you are not able to take the right decision. Choose people wisely. I'm not asking you to be selfish, but choose people wisely who are unconditional, even your friends wisely. Remember that sometimes friends have got a lot of impact, and because they couldn't do it, I think you remember those three idiot movie, right? uh, friend का अच्छा हो गया तो मेरा अच्छा क्यों नहीं हुआ, right? So rely on yourself. Believe me, read more books that will inspire you. Okay, so I
Awesome.
thoroughly enjoyed this
Thank you.
session, and I hope that they have been able to take away something good. And if they are able to even apply one sentence of what I said, I will feel very blessed and successful. And stay blessed, everyone. God bless you. You will find your way. Don't worry.
Thank you so much, Sarika. It was wonderful having you with us. I'm 100% sure they've all been making some really, how do I say, clear notes in their mind, because you've stressed on some really important points that will take us a long way. Thank you so much for joining the session. Thank you to each one of you all for joining us and making this such an interactive session. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jwala, and thank you,
Thank you.
everyone. Take
Thank you.
care.
Thank
Have
you,
a
Thank
blessed
everybody.
you,
day.
Chula. Thank you, everyone.